All right, as we're in the middle of the offseason, it is a great time to talk about those forgotten players or players that could make a big move for your team that could end up, by the time the season starts, playing a pivotal role or at least kind of looking at what the future looks like. So in this video, I'm not going to give you one. I'm going to actually give you three players that you may have forgotten about that I think could do big things for the Steelers. If you've already heard Chris talk about one of these guys, I'm so sorry. Our opinions are different, though, so I'm not sure if he has or not in the videos that he did, but I have a couple of guys that I'm looking at that just flat out make sense to me. One of them is older, and then two of them are younger. So I'm going to talk about the guy first and foremost that I am probably the least high on, but could absolutely be something, and that is Jeremiah Moon. All right, and I don't know if it's just because he has a cool last name with the name like Moon, but he's coming in an important spot, and in a spot that has traditionally been really effective for the Steelers, and that is outside linebacker, and he's outside linebacker 4. And I understand that he's behind TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Nick Herbig, but injuries happen. And if you're the outside linebacker 4, you very quickly could be 3. All right? Now this guy, if you look at this, he only has 1 career start and 6 career tackles. It's not a lot, but it's still more than the competition. All right? It's still more than the competition. David Perales and rookie Julius Welshoff. All right? Welshoff, by the way, is a guy who was always uber talented. I believe he's from Germany. All right, so maybe he's another guy that should have made this list. Uber talented, but never put it together in college. He was at U of M, and I'm a big U of M fan. So, I don't know what that looks like. If they can find a way to unlock some of that talent, he could be really, really good. But he's an athletic defender. He's 6'5". He's 247, and he's been described as a tweener throughout a lot of his time. But as a pass rusher at the NFL level, he has some great names to learn from. I completely agree with that, and I think that could be really good. All right, last year, Steelers reserve pass rushers, Herbig and Golden recorded 3 and 4 sacks, and some in pivotal moments. So if he sticks around, he's a guy that has the athletic ability and the talent to maybe record some pivotal stuff as we go throughout the season. I think that's really good. All right, so that's one young guy. Now let's go to an older guy. All right, a guy that has been around for a little while, and it is defensive lineman Dean Lowry. Now, Dean Lowry is a name that I'm very familiar with because he spent his first 7 years with the Green Bay Packers. And he was always one of these guys that is just he's just annoying. You don't think he should be that good, but he just is, all right? He's a strong guy in the middle. He takes up space well, and he just knows how to use or make the best of the small amount of athleticism that he does have. When you look at a guy like him, he's not someone who's ever going to blow you away, right? The greatest amount of sacks he's ever had is 6, all right? And that was in 2021. But when you look at his production, he was always a starting caliber defensive tackle. 2016 to 2022 with Green Bay, starting caliber who played on the rotation, averaging between 500 and 700 snaps. That's not bad for an interior defensive lineman. That's a good amount of time being played. And it wasn't until last year that he went to Minnesota that things just, all right? And I don't think in his age 29 season last year, that's because all of a sudden he just lost it. This is never a guy who relied on athleticism. I think it's simple. He was in a system that fit for him well at Green Bay. They didn't use him correctly in Minnesota. So coming to Pittsburgh, it's him saying, I understand what I need and what type of system I need to play in. And the Steelers will understand absolutely what they need to do with him. Dean Lowry is a player that, nope, he's not going to just give any rave reviews, but you don't play that many snaps over that many seasons unless you're a pretty good player. All right? That's just the way it's going to work. Now, the next one that I have for you is the one that I might be the most excited about. And this is a homegrown, home-drafted talent, cornerback Darius Rush. All right? I think it's said here that he's somewhat forgotten due to the discourse around another makes the list, with Darius Rush often being the afterthought to the hype surrounding Corey Trice, all right, who got injured, right? A long, athletic corner who was a fifth-round pick in 2023 by the Colts. I said homegrown. I don't know why I said that. He was drafted by the Colts. Russ was a surprised August cut who spent some time with the Chiefs before landing with the Steelers midseason. He did what he could to catch the moving train, managing 39 snaps on defense, 20 on special teams. All right? Now he's settled. He's entering the 2024 season, and he looks on capitalizing some of that potential. So what does that potential look like for the Steelers? All right, I went back and I looked at what his career was like with South Carolina, what made him a fifth-round pick. And what I found is he was simply one of the best cover corners in the country. All right, especially man coverage. The completion percentage against him was not good. And in his final season, he seemed to put everything together. He had 2 touchdowns. All right, and this is a guy who over his career found a way to get into the end zone 6 times. He's a playmaker. He's a playmaker. All right, and teams did not want to target against him. He just did not have that many targets, 39 and then 31. Nobody was throwing against him. 31 passes against, that's it? Over 10 games played, all right? They look at him 3 times a game as a full-time starter. That shows that there's respect. And then you look at his athletic profile, because you need, when you get drafted in the 5th round, you always ask yourself, is it a lack of ability and athleticism, or is it just a maturity thing? Like you need to be put in the right system. And with Darius Rush, the answer is very clear that it is not an athleticism issue. It is simply a question of, can he be put in the right place? He has great size. He has elite speed, just to be clear. And he has good explosion. He is a guy that absolutely is built to be successful at the NFL and at this level. The question is, can he beat out all the other players? Because this is a secondary that has a lot of talent. When you're talking about Joey Porter Jr., when you're talking about Dante Jackson bringing him over, when you're talking about Corey Trice, who everybody loves, and he fell because of the injury. All right, when you're talking about all of that, Rush is still there on the second line. He's still there to be a backup almost right away. So those are some guys, 3 for 1, that you get to see that could be great for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading in to this offseason. Not the offseason, but training camp. Keep an eye on them. See what they're doing throughout the preseason. All right, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Steelers content and other content from all around the NFL. See ya.